What's going on, guys? So we are still out here at the Forest River RV dealer event in Elkhart, Indiana. There's a lot of stuff going on out here. There's shows going on all over the city, but this is the area where Forest River kind of combines all their brands together to showcase what's going on. Coachmen, being a major part of the Forest River brand, builds pretty much every type of RV you can imagine. They have fifth wheels, travel trailers, small stuff, big motorhomes, as well as these awesome Class Bs. So I got my buddy here with me. He's going to give me a really cool tour of this absolutely amazing Coachmen Class B. He'll explain it here in a second, so hang tight. I'll be right back. All right, Nick, so can you tell us what we're looking at here?
Yeah, we've been pretty established in the Class B as a young and up-and-coming division since about 2018, 2019, and when everybody else follows each other in the Class B segment, we kind of like to take a right or a left. So one thing that we know is this kind of product might not be considered your mainline Class B, but it certainly serves a purpose for, let's say, luxury Class B, more transportation, less RV. And what we got here is the SRT. This is a standalone brand. It's on the Mercedes 3500 diesel chassis, 24 foot, 2 inches. And come on in real quick, guys. Take a look at this.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful seating, very luxurious. We're looking at a limousine type product here with jet amenities. Last year I was at a couple shows at a couple very large dealerships lots, and a lady showed up with a big Yukon stretched, and out come all the kids. And she goes, "Hey, my husband just sent me car shopping for a new Cadillac Escalade stretched. Those are $190,000. She goes, "You can't really get to the back row, doesn't have a refrigerator in it, I can't go to the bathroom in it, and it's certainly not as nice as this." So this is kind of soccer mom sports. Kids sports are becoming very popular, traveling sports. That with COVID, we know we're all officing out of our vehicles, much more transient, much more mobile, giving us an opportunity to see the country, meanwhile keeping up with our work life. So little sink here, just enough. That's the same sink that we put in all of our Class B products. 12-volt refrigerator.
Can I interject real quick? So this is interesting because you bring this up, because I didn't think I would see something like this here. My wife and I have had these conversations of, you know what, we want to travel to maybe like Jackson Hole, Wyoming. We want to go on a really long road trip, but sometimes you don't want to bring your RV. Yep. We have a big fifth wheel, and you know, hitching up to it, we're cramming ourselves into I'm not going to say a small truck, it's a big truck, but the cab of it isn't necessarily huge, right? So you want to get somewhere, and maybe you want to stay at a ski resort. Maybe you want to stay at somewhere nice, and the trip up there is the challenge. You don't want to fly because you don't want to be crammed into a petri dish.
You don't want to tow.
But at the same time, you don't want to tow because, you know, it's a long way to tow. And for me, I don't mind towing the fifth wheel up there. I just know it's not going to be the greatest experience for my passengers.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, something else to think about, towing a fifth wheel from, you said Corpus Christi,
South Texas.
That's a lot. And so with this, really good gas mileage, 21, 22, 24 on the highway. You can go now and make those pit stops at a hotel at night, replenish, eat a steak, get a shower, get replenished, get back in your mobile office, your people mover, your limousine, whatever, however you want to phrase it. These vans, not only the limo type van, people mover, but our traditional vans, they're Swiss Army knives.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need to call if you were going to go from Corpus to Jackson Hole. Hey, honey, I'm having problems finding a spot.
Yeah.
For my, what do you got, a 42-foot Brookstone?
Exactly.
So how hard is it to get sometimes a spot for, sometimes you call 3 or 4 weeks to find that spot. This, grab your couple backpacks, grab just enough food, and get on the road on your terms, not on the RV parks and the other terms you might run into.
That is absolutely true, and very accurate in terms of the challenge that people have with big motorhomes or big fifth wheels. Finding place for them, and sometimes, again, as much as I love RVing, sometimes it's not practical to take your RV everywhere. So this is super cool for that road trip.
Yep, and we get a lot of folks, just in Class Bs in general, coming out of that 42-foot motorhome wanting to downsize. Wanting, you know, I don't need to do it all anymore, just something small and luxurious. Toilet paper storage overhead, flip this up out of the way. You got your golf bag storage, luggage storage, little commode to suffice for the family. You've got forced air back through here. Your inverter storage, 2 rear doors here.
Have you thought about putting a wet bath back here?
Well, there's a couple floor plans that we
Okay.
can take a look at. The next floor plan we're looking at is more of a opposing smaller sofas,
Okay.
bringing some kitchenette back here. But we already had a lady come through here and say, where am I going to shower? And you don't hear that very often in Class Bs because they already don't like the small typically. They don't like the small shower and wet bath in Class Bs. We'll get a customer coming back to visit the plant, and I'll say, you know, it doesn't even look like there's been a drop of water in this shower. They're like, well, we just use it for a closet. And then some people use it every day. So that's what the
true.
Class B is. Very versatile. Use it how you want. Swiss Army knife.
Yeah,
So
totally.
beautiful amenities back here. Just enough to make that game day trip. To suffice for the family for sporting events. Beautiful appointments. Very, very plush. Power sofa, 85-inch.
This is really cool.
Oh, beautiful burl hardwood. You've got full power seat down here. This is crazy. This captain seat here does about everything you can to a seat. Heat, massage, heated massage as well. You've got a little executive's desk here. Kind of messed up on this a little bit.
Here's your airplane desk, right?
Yep. So really nice, really nice.
Now, MSRP price point, before I get into my next thought, because it's going to directly relate to that, what's an MSRP on something like this?
We don't even have this priced.
Okay.
This is strictly, it's not concept. This is something that'll be in production first quarter 2023.
Okay.
You know, wholesale, you know, I'd say retail we're looking into 160s to 180s depending on how far we want to take this.
That's actually lower than what I thought you were going to say. So this is the reason why I'm saying this. You made a point earlier, like you want to get a stretch Escalade. That's a very custom vehicle. That's going to approach 200 grand.
Yep.
You get a regular Escalade. In today's economy, a loaded Escalade's about $110,000 to $115,000.
Yeah.
My wife was pricing out Lincoln Navigators. Same thing, 110 for a black label. You're about $110,000, $115,000. This is so much more usable in terms of traveling. This is so much more usable in terms of people moving than that. And you have the restroom in the back, or the lavatory, since we're talking about that jet interior.
Yeah.
We have the sink, you have the refrigerator, you have the microwave, possibly a wet bath if somebody really wants one. You have all of those amenities in a platform that's so much more spacious. You have room to move. If you do decide to stop overnight at a rest stop or in the parking lot of a hotel or wherever you go, Walmart, you don't feel like you're boxed in because you have windows all around you. You have that security. That's a big thing people have with Class C's sometimes, or Class B's or any RV that has a wall of stuff that blocks everything, is you can't see out of it.
Correct.
And sometimes you're worried about that environment you're in. With this, you'll see out, they can't see in. You have this absolutely beautiful interior. I mean, check this out. And it gives you it in a package that isn't going to be that much more expensive than vehicles that you might otherwise think is the right vehicle for you.
Yep. Now, we could go ahead and put a fiberglass ground effect up front. We could do, it's limitless what we can do. We want to make it simple, repetitive, and we're not a custom shop. We're not a custom company, but this is about as custom as you can get out of a mainstream manufacturer. What's really cool is a lot of HOA considerations were made here. No awning, some high-end HOAs, which this would be going into that neighborhood, probably wouldn't like that, and no roof mount air. Standard is an oak behind that TV is a chassis-driven 45,000 BTU AC.
Wow, that's
and it's
a big
undermount,
unit.
Compressor-driven, 3 fans underneath here. You know, we wanted to make this as automotive as possible and no screams necessarily of RV.
Yep. And one thing he just mentioned, which I'm going to clarify, is when he says HOA friendly, at first when he said that, I had to think about, okay, what is he talking about? Is this an RV acronym? Then I'm thinking, no, he's meaning homeowners associations. There's a lot of gated communities or a lot of communities where you cannot have an RV. And oftentimes an RV is identified because it's got a big old AC on top, it's got a big old awning on the side, things that make it stand out. This doesn't stand out as an RV. This stands out as a people mover. This stands out as well, I was going to say more like a limo van.
Yeah, absolutely.
And something you could actually see in the driveway of a really ritzy neighborhood, and it would make it through, plus the fact that it's a Mercedes.
Sure.
So you're coupling all that together into a package that's pretty freaking phenomenal. Is there anything special to look at on the outside of this unit?
No, try to keep it as simple as possible. One of the main drivers underneath, not necessarily on the outside left and right, but underneath, I'm standing on a VB air suspension. And a VB air suspension is 2 airbags that are controlled by a remote control up with the driver. And he can lower his ride with the airbags. He can raise his ride. If he's going over speed bumps before he's got to exit his HOA, he can lift the back up a little bit so he doesn't have to worry about any clearance. And then if he gets in wind applications or wind crosswinds, or you can pretty much dial those 2 huge airbags that we may be able to get a picture of. Makes the ride so much better, not relying on the Sprinter OEM, because a lot of Mercedes still deliver Amazon packages.
No, you're right.
You know what I mean? So they're not always built for luxury in the Sprinter van. And there's some things that we do on our standard Gallerias behind us. We do a lot of Sumo International upfitting with the Sumo springs. I'm sure you've ran across Sumo. Sumo's been trying to get Freddie to do something on it.
I've been working with Sumo forever.
Adam, good guys over there. But for this product alone, the VB air suspension, which is like almost 10 grand retail, but it changes the whole ride. I drove this at the last minute. It got out of our proto booth to get here to be able to get staged, and she drove like a dream. So I'm really impressed with it.
Well, I hate to put you on the spot, but I'm going to do it anyways because this is YouTube. I am all about doing 3 to 6 month reviews. I would love to show my wife and family and my viewers what it's like to have one of these for a few months and drive it all over the country, get it around. I think that would be amazing.
Give us some time on this. This just got off the press.
Oh, this is a prototype unit. I'm not, you know, there's so many prototype units I've walked around, you know, during this event that I know to set my expectations. And viewers, you got to set your expectations accordingly. What they're doing here is they're showing you oftentimes what they can do, but the things they would also like to do. So that we have to make sure that we get that balance in there. Right?
My boss goes, you got the bill of material done on it? I go, nope. He goes, do you have it done? Is it ready for the show? I was like, yes, it is, sir, and I think you're going to like it. And he didn't like that I didn't have a price, but we're gonna take our time. There's a couple things that while you're scanning through here, I'm really tough on our team and our products that we build. A couple things I don't like, but a lot more that I love.
What I like what you just said is that you're tough on your team and you're scanning through your own product and trying to improve it. I think the same could be said for most RV manufacturers, but what is nice to know is that whenever you put a product out like this, especially anything that's well above $100,000, there's this expectation of perfection. However, the van on this, the Sprinter van chassis and body, may be Mercedes. That's all computer built. That stuff goes down a computer automated assembly line. This stuff doesn't. Everything in here is handmade.
And the number one criteria that, everything looks very luxurious. Looks like everything's super tight. But I already know from driving it over here personally that I got 3 to 5 spots of squeak that a person buying over $100,000 will not appreciate, and vibration.
All right, so we lost audio on the microphone, so we're going to the onboard microphone now. So hopefully this works better for us. And it just started pouring down behind us, so it's raining hard now.
Start coming.
Yeah, we're in the right vehicle for it, though.
Yes,
so what he was talking about was, he's just in this unit, just driving it over here, he's identified areas that squeak, little areas, 3 to 4 areas that squeak.
Whether it's vinyl on vinyl, ledge that's fastened down too much without any felt treatment underneath it. You got a lot of moving parts, and these vans are cans, and they do twist. So we want to make sure that we're entering luxury market the way luxury market should be entered. Yeah,
and one thing that we were talking about is that, when you buy a towable unit, it's going to make a ton of noise going down the road, but you're never going to be inside of it. You're never going to be hearing that noise. If you were, you'd wonder how all your dishes aren't broken when you get where you're going. When you're inside of a motorhome, there is an expectation. Now, I think the larger the motorhome gets, that expectation is a little bit less, because you're going to have pots, pans, and things that are going to move around. But when you get into these high-end Class Bs, there's an expectation that the interior of this RV is going to sound like the interior of a Lincoln Navigator when you're going down the road.
Absolutely. And then some.
Yep.
you're paying a couple more bucks. So again, not necessarily concept vehicle. This is something we're going to be getting into, and don't know where we want to cut off, but we need to be prepared for, with everything that's going on in the world, to serve a little bit higher clientele. Not saying there's anything wrong with our current clientele. You guys know I love you. We talk to you guys all the time through YouTube. You see my YouTube videos. But this is branching out, and we're going to take a couple other branching out opportunities to serve our traditional Class B customers. But this is something the companies wanted to do, and it's somewhat nostalgic. Is we used to have a division called Coachmen Motorworks. And the president of the company is walking around here, and I just feel like this would be a perfect opportunity to bring Coachmen Motorworks back from the late 80s, when we used to build vans back then, camper vans back then. So amazing product. We're going to release it the right way, and appreciate all the support out there.
Absolutely. He's got a great channel, apparently. I haven't seen it yet. I was actually kind of surprised here.
No channel. I'm on everybody's channel.
Oh, okay,
so
okay.
I got this guy, this gal, and just, it's always good to see the person's eyes that runs the place. We are no better than our customers, and if we don't serve our customers the right way, we'll be like everybody else. That's what makes Coachmen Class B's a little bit different. You're not going to find customer service or products from anybody like us.
Awesome. I really appreciate your time, Nick. Thank you so much.
JD.
Anyways, guys, if you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and I'll probably film a few more of these, because these things are absolutely gorgeous. And we don't have to look at just these super, super high-end ones. They have some other ones out here, which I'm sure they'd like to show. Guys, we'll talk to you again very soon.